Hello and welcome to yet another PoE For Dummies video. This time we have Ascendancy or the Lord's Labyrinth. Ascendancy is one of the things you are going to encounter throughout your journey through the campaign in Path of Exile in all of the acts. In some acts you won't find any, in some you will find plenty. However, by the end of acts you should be having 3 out of 4 available labyrinths done, and then the last one you will find in yellow maps onwards with the offering to the goddess that is going to be given to you once you complete a trial. Now, what are trials? Trials are mini labyrinths, mini puzzles with traps that by the end of them you are going to get 1 point per labyrinth, as you can access them in the Sarn encampment in Act 3. So if we move to Sarn encampment, and if we go up the stairs, you will see this goddess's statue. When you have all 6 of these unlocked at first, which are going to be in early acts, you will get access to Aspirant's Plaza. Once you enter the Aspirant's Plaza, you will then be greeted by the end of it. Once you get up the stairs, you'll be greeted by a labyrinth activation device, which is going to tell you how many labyrinths, how many trials, basically many points, you need to, and where they are, you need to enter the said labyrinth. For the first labyrinth, which is the easiest one, you need Act 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 3. For the next one, you need Act 6, 7, and 7. And for the last one, you need Act 8, 9, and 10. For the last labyrinth, that one you get access to it in yellow maps. Now, how do you find these labyrinths? I have made an image here for leveling, which includes a full legend. This will all be linked in the description below, nothing to worry about, which includes the full legend for Act 1 through 5 and Acts 6 through 10. This includes the labyrinths, where they are in the location, the gems, the passives, the passive respec points, passive points, combination of both, and gems, items, and such for rewards, including also the bandits. I hope this is going to be helpful to you. You can find this in my Discord or in my website. So basically, when you go to my website, when you pop in the website here, when you press PoE For Dummies, you're going to be greeted with this screen. Once we click PoE For Dummies for Settlers of Kalgur, which is the current league. This is changing every league, so PoE 1. Once you click that one, you will be greeted with this screen for all of the drop-downs. Where is the labyrinth in mechanics and ascendancy? This is the thumbnail of the video. There will be the video here instead of the thumbnail, and things to know. Once you click things to know, there will be a location, and then you can click these and they will open a Google Drive link where you can download these images. Later on, you can post these images in your Awaken PoE trade and use it as such. Now, let's see, what is the Labyrinth? Labyrinth is a series of gauntlets that you are going to enter and complete in order to get your points for Ascendancy. I have here a pre-recorded footage of, as an example, Uber Lab, which is the Eternal Labyrinth that we need. Now, when you enter Labyrinth, you will be greeted by the map itself and the current location altar. You can check where you are and such, and then you can carry over through the lab and explore it, find things the way they are and how they are. So my suggestion is, the first time you play through the labyrinth, you should explore it. Now, once you get to the required room or a room, you will open the labyrinth map. There you will see where the path leads with the green, basically with the green sort of like an arrow, right? Pointer towards the room where it is. If you think that's too close and not far enough, you have to go to the end, then you will try to find a different room. So here is an example. I have decided to not go there, however, to go to a different room. Now, there are different tile sets of rooms. These ones that have nothing on them are basically just normal rooms. For the rest of the rooms, you can, of course, check them on PoE Wiki. You have here, when you scroll down, they tell you what each of the room is and how you can complete them. You have a blank room, you have the Aspirant's trial room, which is the Izaro room, Forgotten Reliquary, which contains one chest and Labyrinth trinket, Golden Door, which requires a key to be opened, Golden Key room, Silver Cache, Door, and Silver Key. So all of those are the rooms in the lab. Frankly, you don't need to know that much, you just need to know that you need physical damage mitigation and anti-bleed flask to run the later labs, as they will deal a significant chunk of physical damage and bleeding as well if you step on a trap. But now let's skip over to a little bit, and we are going to find something here called a Darkshrine. So while you are exploring the lab, you're going to find these rooms that have extra room that basically has a wall. However, on the minimap, as you can see in the top right, or now in the middle of the screen, you will see that there is something there. When you find the switch, you can just like mouse over where it is. When you find the switch, you click the switch, you open it, the wall will drop down or move to the side, you will kill a pack of monsters inside, and you will find a mysterious Darkshrine inside, which is going to grant you a buff. These can grant different buffs. You can get a different shrine effect, you can get a treasure key, which I will mention later, another use of Divine Font, again later after Izaro. You can have different lab modifiers, where it reduces the amount of damage done by traps or removes the traps outright, or direct portal to the boss. So those are Darkshrines. Then after you get to the room that has written on it Aspirant's Trial and the icon of a skull, you are going to enter Izaro room and Izaro fight. Once you enter his fight, I'm going to play audio here, he's going to greet you with his own stuff, and you will enter his arena. His arena has an entrance point where he is in the middle and 3 side small points, one on the left, one on the right, one on the bottom, where he can spawn his helpers, buffers, and such. He can have modifiers that basically deal elemental damage, he can have guardians, lieutenants, that can deal as well elemental damage and some physical damage, or he can have some pylons that basically buff him as well. So those are the general buffs that he can get from there. Once Izaro pops up, you will see that he has a green thing above him. That's the goddess. She also helps Izaro deal with the player, and there are 2 sets of mechanics you should worry about. First, let's mention Izaro. This version of Izaro has a 2-handed mace. There are 3 versions of Izaro: 2-handed mace, sword and board, which is sword and shield, and 2 swords. Depending on which one he has, his mechanics slightly change or outright change, but his damage changes a lot. As an example, 2-handed mace deals the most damage, 2 swords is the fastest one, and the sword and shield is more of a defense one. However, he deals a chunk of damage as well. Now, for the mace mechanics, he has general basic attack that he can attack you with, and a big slam, overhead smash, that he does in an area around wherever he smashes. Whenever he picks up the hammer, you can just dash away and you will be fine. Now, he basically repeats these mechanics over time, and then he spawns his little helpers, that's fine. However, if you move away from Izaro, he's going to start launching his AoE attacks and his range attacks. So he will just keep repeating these until you damage him. When you move away, he jumps to you and this does a smash. Another one is Goddess, does her green balls of whatever. she throws them to you as well. Out of those, you can run out, no problem. This is the same. Goddess does the same mechanics. Goddess has the teleport, which she does in the later stages. She has the throw rocks, and that's basically it. Nothing too much. Izaro follows you until you get close to him, or he gets close to you, and then he repeats the mechanics. That's the first part. As you see here on his health bar, we have damaged him by roughly a third. We need to kill Izaro total of 3 times every time he enhances and adds more abilities to him. So here he also did one more ability before he died, which was he did an overhead smash, which then did these like golden thingies or pans, whatever they are, in a line. Technically, as with every boss with Path of Exile, just circle around him and that's it. The only problem with Izaro is, even if you damage Izaro to this part where he's invulnerable and before he goes in there, he can repeat his mechanics, so be careful there. So that's the first part of Izaro. Then we can move on and we can still explore the lab, find different things and such, and we can get over to the Golden Door. Golden Door is a mechanic for 3rd and 4th lab, which is Merciless Lab and Eternal, which everyone in the community calls Uber Lab, where without a golden key, you cannot proceed the labyrinth. This was introduced ages ago in the game, but there can be 2 or 3 even golden doors, but mostly there's going to be 1 or 2. So we have 1 door here, and second door was supposed to be here. However, if the key is in the same room, you might have 2 doors. If the key is in a different room, then you will most likely have 1 door, and the other door that is open is going to be basically leading you towards a location with the golden key. Now that location is going to be either a separate room or the separate part of the same map where a golden door is. This is a small trial, like the entire trial is. It has traps. Once again, please bring at least 1 health potion, if not 2, maybe 3, if you're unsure if you're going to survive. You don't need any utility flasks, those are just a bonus if you want to, but that's basically it. So this whole thing is going to have different traps, different switches that you can access, that you can go over. These are always the same, you will figure them out pretty quickly. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. However, the damage of the labyrinth itself, the lab spikes and such, is going to be based on your modifiers on your gear, based on the things that you have, how you mitigate physical damage and bleed, is going to be more difficult or less difficult. Once you get towards this is the lever for a shortcut to go back. Once you go to the golden key area, you will find levers to click where they will open the main locked door. So this one had 3 levers, if I'm not mistaken. And once you get all of them, they will open, almost died there, they will open the door and you will get the golden chest, which will contain the golden key only. Then you click on the lever and you leave and you carry on your way to get to the other part of the labyrinth. Now, once you get to the second Izaro fight, he will do a little bit more. He will add more things to his own mechanics. I will link a PoE wiki page where all the mechanics are explained. It's nothing too difficult, it all repeats. I will do an overview once we're done, but in this one he will get enhanced abilities from the mobs from the first one, so he will have like extra fire damage, extra mobs that he will summon and such. Nothing is going to change from the first time you ran into him. So basically here I let him hit me just to showcase the mechanics. He does the same things, just they are enhanced with these golems, with these totems and such. That's basically it. If you want to deal with these totems, click on them. They will disable for a while, and Izaro is going to be easier. Generally, in today's Path of Exile 1, you do not need to bother with that, as mostly every single build has the damage to deal with Izaro anyways. So once you get him the second time, he will go back, and then we can carry on our way. Now, when we go towards the end of the labyrinth, we are going to fight Izaro one more time. This is the last time, and this is where the room will change. As you will see here, the room is going to change. It is going to have these traps. Now, if you've picked a Darkshrine, you will get a buff on top right side of your screen that's going to say maybe Labyrinth traps are disabled in the Aspirant's trial, which means all of these traps are disabled. There are different versions of the last part of Izaro fight. There's this one with these saws, there's one with the saws and pillars around with the fire around, and there's one more with spikes that throw like poisonous darts from one direction and then the other direction, and then pikes from underneath you when you stand on them. So those are the three versions that you will encounter. However, Izaro will get enhanced abilities here, so the fight may be a little bit hectic. It is not going to be too difficult. He will do the same. He will get the enhanced abilities with additional green circle, which is the goddess's teleport, as I mentioned. So the goddess's channels a teleport around Izaro that will move you to a random spot in the arena, which can put you on top of a trap. Be careful. If you want to be honest, you want to move away from Izaro, DPS him from afar, and that's it. However, the mechanics can overlap. So you will be teleported, she will also do more AoE damage, and Izaro will continue. So for Mace, he has the overhead smash, front forward, front facing smash with slow traveling, he has a jump, and that's basically, and he has a basic attack with the goddess shooting her projectiles, summoning skeletons, and teleporting you away. Now, once you deal with Izaro, once you kill Izaro, then you will be greeted with some treasure keys that drop, maybe some unique items and such. He usually drops some rare items, and we are going into the Ascendancy Chamber. Ascendancy Chamber is the chamber as a reward for completing the lab, which contains Izaro's treasure chests, which contains Divine Font and Ascendancy Font as well. So these treasure keys open the chests. You can open whichever chest you want. They either give you some uniques, some gems, they can give you a divine orb, some currencies, they can give you more treasure keys, gear, and such. You most likely cannot open all of them unless you find extra treasure keys. It's not worth doing. Now, when you move north of this room, you will find the Altar of Ascendancy. What does this Altar of Ascendancy do? This Altar of Ascendancy gives you the one of the three choices that you can get for your class. As an example, here we have the Gladiator, well, the Duelist, pardon, which can move into Slayer Ascendancy, Gladiator Ascendancy, and Champion Ascendancy. Whichever Ascendancy you choose is your sub-specialization for the character. Now, these can enhance your abilities in one way or in another way, and depending on what build guide you're following or what build you're playing, these can change as well. One note is you can respec these. Whenever you go into any lab, you can disable your points. So before clicking Altar of Ascendancy, you will see me do it here. You can take your passive refund points, you can refund your passives. And once you refund your passives, you can apply those refunds, click on Altar, and you can click Change. That will effectively change you from one Ascendancy to another Ascendancy if you choose to do so. This is a great way if you want to play at the same character and not re-level a new character, just to change some specs. For mention, every passive Ascendancy point, you get 2 per lab, is costing you 5 refund points. Keep that in mind. So those are Orb of Regret. And there you can choose your Ascendancy again. If you are choosing the same Ascendancy, you cannot choose it. That's basically it. And I will just respec points later. Now, on the right side, you will see the Divine Font. Divine Font is a place where you can change gems and the gem properties. This one differs from ages ago, this is for returning players, where we had enchants on helmet, gloves, and boots. Now those do not exist. However, there are these things called Transfigured gems. There's also gems, there's Facetor's lens, and there are different things. These fonts, you will get 2 at the end of Uber Lab and 1 at the end of the first 3 labs to choose, plus 1 if you get the Darkshrine that gives you an additional use of Divine Font. Keep that in mind. Now here are some of the uses that we can get. Transform a skill gem to be a random transfigured gem of the same color. Put any skill gem, you get transfigured gem of the same color. You can also cancel out the decision. There's a little X button. Add experience to a gem. This will level your gem. Keep that in mind. If you are, let's say, level 67, 68, and your gem is close to level 70 to be equipped for the next level, if you use this one, you won't be able to equip the gem. So keep that in mind. Pay attention. Be careful there. Sacrifice a gem to gain part. This can be 20, 30, 40, 60 of the gem's total experience stored as Facetor's lens. I will show that in game. So when we take the Facetor's lens, you can sacrifice a gem. I suggest sacrificing a level 20 gem, so level 20 or level 21 gem. You sacrifice that gem to gain a Facetor's lens. Facetor's lens can be used to give you the stored experience from the gem it took the experience from to a new gem. So you can take a gem that's, as an example, let's say here, Stormbrand of mine. It is 15 million out of 62, level 18. We're going to right-click Facetor's lens, left-click Stormbrand, and it's going to become level 19 with 55 million out of 212. Keep in mind, the more gem experience you have accrued through the use of the gem, these can be exceptional gems like Empower, Awaken, Empower, Enlighten, and Enhance. Those have a metric ton of experience that can be used as Facetor's gem. So sometimes it is more valuable to have a 60% Facetor's lens with, let's say, Enhance level 3 than to actually sell Enhance level 3 itself. However, you would have to do an overlap. And we can sacrifice a gem for currency items. That's generally worthless. So in this example here, I'm going to show you how to do a transfigured gem. So we can do, oops, my bad. So we can do a regular gem, let's say shield charge, that's a strength gem, and we click transform a skill gem to a random transfigured of the same color. You get the option of the 3. You can always cancel the option out with the X and it returns your original gem. So here we have gotten Ground Slam off Earth Shaking. We have also received Bone Shatter off Carnage, and we have received Leap Slam off Ground Breaking. Bonus points, you can go on trade website, check the prices of these, and earn some currency when you do these. Those are bonus points. However, if you want to pick some, or if you don't want to pick some, you can click to confirm and not. Now, how do you know a gem is transfigured? It is transfigured if it says off something. Gem off something. Not every gem can have a transfigured variant, or it doesn't yet. However, most of the gems do, and they will be added throughout the game, as GGG has already stated beforehand. All of these links will be posted in the description below and on my website. Now, another option is this one. Transform a non-transfigured skill gem to be a random transfigured version. This is used if you want to target a specific gem for transfiguration. As an example, I'm going to pick up, if I'm not mistaken, Molten Strike here, somewhere. So I'm going to pick up Molten Strike. There we go, Molten Strike. And when we click on Transfigure, it is going to give us Molten Strike off the Zenith. There we go, off the Zenith. If a gem has multiple transfiguration options, you have that equal chance to get those. If it has 2, you have 50-50 to get which one you want or which one you don't want, regardless of if you want to sell it or if you want to use it. If you get a mysterious Darkshrine that gives you an additional divine font, you are going to get the third divine font to use, and that's basically it. So in regards to what the lab is, what the lab does, that's it for now. Now I will do a short mention, well, shorter mention of my website where you have like all the location and things for the labyrinth, and a longer mention to the guys at PoE Lab, which is a community-owned website, poelab.com, where you can find daily layouts of the labyrinths. The layouts change every day. You have a timer when they change, and we have the people from the community ran by Suit Size Small that basically run these labs and then post the images here. So you have your ways how to do that. For the sake of simplicity, let me explain how it is. When you have the top right symbol, that means you go top right in the map itself to get to the next room. Same for top middle, top left. There are dimensions, you have the legend as well, which are dark shrines. There are yellows, which are basically shorter paths. There is A, which means Argus. Argus is an additional mini-boss from the lab that you can find here on my website as well, how to access him. So he is Izaro's pet dog. This is how he looks, and you can find him in a big room with the door. When you enter, Izaro will say Argus fetch, and when you kill Argus, he drops a treasure key. That's a bonus treasure key that you can get. Here's one notable mention that you should basically use to skip. What should you skip? Every room that has these silver doors and silver keys, well, silver doors in general, you can skip. The rewards for silver chests are not that grand. All of these can basically be skipped if you have additional traps to follow, additional puzzles to solve. There are ways how you can do those. I do not recommend them as they are tedious to do, waste of time, and they don't give you any reward. For the PoE Lab, you can also have a link to Twitch for Suit Size Small. Thank you to him for his awesome work and his team on the website. And for every other information, you have it here on the website, which I will link down in the description below. There is one last mention. These are Enriched Labyrinths. Enriched Labyrinths are the uber version of the labyrinths with higher item level, higher tier rewards, better rewards and such. However, they are not for beginners. I cannot recommend them for beginners. I myself don't do them as I'm not a lab runner, but they give you corrupted gem options, change it to an awakened gem and such. They are very expensive to buy in general. However, if you are willing to learn more, there is click the link so you can learn more about what they do and what they enhance. But all in all, that is going to be it for this Labyrinth video. If you want to learn more, I have the information on the website. I'm going to link everything down in the description below. If I haven't mentioned something, please feel free to tell me in the comment section down below. I'm sorry this took a little bit too long. I am working on the website as we speak, as well as streaming every day on twitch.tv//KevinHills and on YouTube as well. So thank you so much for your support. If you liked the video, give it a like, sub if you don't mind, and I will see you in the next PoE stream or video. Have a good one.